I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Mr. Brightside fends them off and wins again. Zardozi wins the Oaks for J-Mac. The photo finish. Mr. Brightside or Romantic Warrior. The mare's going. Great guns. Fangirl. Look at her go. Fangirl. Imperatrice has got her. And the race gone by. Imperatrice by a length.
Overpass. More Baker's Delight in Perth.
Radina just won it, I'd say. Tom Kedden won the spring champion in a cakewalk. Without a fight, won the Caulfield Cup.
Jonesy, we've crunched the numbers on the Storm Boys sale to Coolmore, and the owners are set to receive a 3,500% increase on their initial investment. Now, we're going to discuss whether that's unders or it's just about right. So, are you able to give context to why Storm Boy is such a prospect that we've probably never really seen at this scale to date?
Well, for multiple reasons. So, first and foremost, he's regally bred. So, he's out of Justify, who's an undefeated Triple Crown winner. So, that's an American thing, Drifters. He won the Triple Crown. He's the only horse to ever win the Triple Crown and retire undefeated. So, Justify, his sire, is clearly a threat, not just on the racetrack, but he's also probably the most exciting young sire in the world. He's already had 6 individual Group 1 winners, I'm pretty sure, in the Northern Hemisphere. So,
And he's only been at season...
This is his second or third season. So, he...
And some sires, it takes him a bit more to mature, so you think being the best example.
Yes, so he thinks a good example of that. So that's one thing. That's on his size side, right? On his dam side, so he's by Pelican. Pelican's dam is he's out of Pelican, and Pelican's dam is Sea Change. Sea Change won 7 Group 1s in New Zealand.
Okay.
So you're looking at the breeding alone, you're like, sheesh, this thing's regally bred. Secondly, he's already done it on the racetrack. Like, he was probably you could argue the best Magic Millions 2-year-old winner ever.
Yep.
Not just on, the times, but just on how dominant it looked as well. Like, he did all the work. How he did it, he did all the work to get himself into basically a leading position and was going pretty quick the entire time, but still gapped him when it came to the last 200, like put lengths on it.
Yeah.
That's freakish. So it's that, which gives him, such an exciting profile. And he's also like so well built for a 2-year-old.
Yes. And
based on what we've seen from him so far and on his bloodlines, he's going to get out over further and be just as effective, you'd think. So an incredibly exciting prospect, which is why, and of course he was going to be sought after by the big stud farms. So, he's very exciting, Storm Boy.
Well, and you add into that, like, his performances on the track. So that Magic Millions win, the runner-up had the run of the race and he spanked him by 2 or 3 lengths.
Yeah.
And, our guy, Daniel O'Sullivan, the data that this thing had put up, it's basically unseen for a 2-year-old type. So that's why it makes him so irresistible. And I guess, like, the horses that come to mind, I had a look at all the Golden Slippers, the Blue Diamonds over recent years, and the ones that the big farms have, like, bought into. They did it after the big ones. So, like, Best of Bordeaux, Coolmore bought Aquis's 60% after his second in the Golden Slipper.
Was that after?
After.
Yeah, okay.
And then Farnan, he was sold after his Golden Slipper win as well.
Yep.
So this is the first instance, like, yes, it is a classic, the Magic Millions, but it's so clear with the intention with the Australia's Triple Crown ahead of it. So let's break down the sale, right? So his sale price, he was sold for 460 grand, and I think there's about 40 owners, and for argument's sake, let's just say that all 40 have this equal share. So they've shelled out 11.5 grand for their share. Now, from prize money alone, they've all received 50 grand back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they're already on a fantastic wicket.
Yep.
So if they were to just take up the initial purchase or the initial offer from Coolmore, so it's up to $50 million sale, right?
Yeah. But it's not guaranteed 50 million.
Guaranteed 15.
Yeah.
So that means that they get 375 grand each.
Yeah.
That's where that 3,500 back on their initial investment comes from. But if he goes on to win the slipper, it's another 25 million in bonuses for all the ownership. And if he completes the Triple Crown, another 15 on top. So 50 in total. Do you think that's a fair price? Underpriced? Overpriced? It's a great position to be in.
It's a fantastic position to be in. Look, I think as it stands right now, it is a big price and probably overpriced because, yeah, we're talking about potential. Is he even going to get to the slipper?
Exactly.
Might not even get to the slipper. Who's to say that he's going to match what he did at the Magic Millions? If he repeats that performance, like he wins the slipper, probably 9 times out of 10?
Yeah.
Maybe 95 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Okay. But who's to say that he's got any more left in the tank?
Mm.
These 2-year-olds develop very quickly and a lot can change in about 8 weeks, if that's how far away it is.
Yep.
So as it stands right now, that is a ridiculous price.
Mm.
You look at it another way as well, though. Coolmore, who is, which is so funny because like he's a Coolmore product,
I
and
know.
now they're just like, we'll take him back, which is bizarre to think about. But anyway, and they've got his sire already, Justify, and it's not like Justify is 50.
Yeah.
Like
He's a young boy.
he's a young boy. So, but it's funny. So Coolmore's thinking, even if he doesn't do anything else from here, like, you know, if you're dominating a field like that in the Magic Millions and his prospects are going to be with that bloodline for sale in the future, then like they're going to be commercial.
Yeah.
So they're probably thinking, you know what, if it is 50 mil, we're probably going to make that money back on him eventually. Secondly, we do it so we keep the sire line, the bloodlines within our
Wheelhouse.
and our own farm. So if you want Justify, or if you want Justify's best ever 2-year-old, let's say, we got them both.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a hell of a lot of money. Coolmore, yeah, I guess they can risk it. It's a lot of money, mate.
Would you take it as an owner?
Yes, 100% I would.
Yeah.
100% I would. Like, because for me, it's that amount of money is super significant, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you know, like I'm no squillionaire drifters. You might be surprised to learn. But like if I was worth $50 million, I'd be like, no, I'm good. I'll stay in the ownership. Like, is Jerry Harvey taking that deal?
Yeah, no.
No. He might say, oh yeah, you can take of my 20% share, you can have a 10%.
Yeah.
You know, for me, yeah, 100% I'd take that deal because, you know, you can talk about owning Stormboy being a life-changing experience, but giving you that amount of money potentially, that's life-changing.
Yeah.
So it depends on the share you had and whatever and what have you. But I'd take the money because nothing is guaranteed.
No.
Nothing is guaranteed. Like he, you know, God forbid the worst could happen, but the worst could happen. So, but geez, it would also be awesome to own like a Triple Crown winner. Like imagine that. And you could like if I was, you know, on my deathbed and, you know, money means nothing when you're about to go. And you can say, I own a horse that won the Triple Crown, or even I own a horse that won the Golden Slipper in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So you're weighing that up, but, you know.
I owned a horse and we turned down 50 million and we end up getting 100.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like if he goes on to do what Coolmore, you know, let's face it, they're hoping they don't.
Yeah.
They're hoping he wins a slipper, but they're probably not hoping he wins a Triple Crown. But if he goes on to do that, my God, how much would he be worth? We'd never see him again. Never.
No, you wouldn't.
Never, ever.
No. He'd probably be the most valuable horse we've ever produced.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, we've just seen Animo retire to start with a 120 grand fee. Home Affairs' first year was 110, I think, and he's gone down. But I think he was probably overpriced to begin with, Home Affairs. And he might be a sire, Home Affairs, who, because he's by I'm Invincible, who eventually ends up being like, number one. But yeah, he'd be our most valuable horse ever.
Yeah,
easily if he won the Triple Crown.
Wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't see because Fireburn she was retired during the spring. I can't remember how much she actually went for, and she was a lip away from a Triple Crown. Different for a filly, I know that. But
I think 4 million comes to mind for some reason.
That's a lot.
4 million comes to mind for some reason.
Wow. So, all right. Tefane, five-time Group 1 winner. I think she went for 3.2.
Yeah.
Sunlight, I think she went for something similar.
Yeah.
Versus
Sunlight was very good.
Fireburn, I know, all respect to Fireburn, I know who I'm taking out of like that equation.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the bloodlines and all that sort of stuff comes into it.
Yeah. Depends what you want, right? Like she was a hell of a 2-year-old, Fireburn. Nearly won the Triple Crown. Bloody should have. That was a weird year though. Like for the 2-year-olds, she was very good, and she was a worthy slipper winner, and was if she won the Triple Crown would have been a worthy of that, but like wasn't much opposition really.
Like, I think that was the revolutionary Miss Dormier year.
Best of Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Coolangatta ran third.
So it's. I think the top was good.
Yeah.
And like we saw that Oaks, like she was going to start favourite in that Queensland Oaks, and Amakura's decent. Their form out of it's been okay.
I wonder if she won that. If she would have won that, interesting. Red hot chance.
And she would have been close to like a Samantha Miss then, like winning I think Samantha Miss won a slipper, and then she went on to win like an Oaks or something.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Something like that.
But what about you? Would you take the money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, it's the best investment I'd ever make. Earning 360 grand without any, I'm assuming a couple of them are on the punt as well. Like, what did he start? $3? Like some of those owners would have had a fair crack on that at the Magic Millions.
And whilst you might not have an ownership share moving forward, it's just like, no, that's my horse.
Yeah.
It's still your horse.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. But going back to the fact that Coolmore wants to buy him back. So they sold him at the Magic Million sales for what, $460 or whatever it was. And now they're like, oh yeah, we're going to fork out $50 million to get him back. It's just funny. Like I find that funny. And that just goes to show that like if they knew how good he was, they wouldn't have ever put him up for sale, right? No. So it just goes to show that no one really knows.
No.
And there was some statistics going around. Bradley shared them with me a couple of weeks ago, I think, before the Magic Millions actually ran, about statistics of the horses' price points at the million sales and what the return of investment really was in terms of like stakes winners and prize money and stuff like that. And if you're at the Magic Millions, like based on the information that Brad shared with me, there's no real return on investment difference between a horse that costs 300 grand and a horse that's cost anything more than that.
Right.
Like if you go in there and you're like, I've got heaps of cash, I'm going to get 20% of 10 different horses, I'd be looking at getting 20% of horses that fall between, 280 and 400 grand, because that's your sweet spot.
Is that from that return on investment from prize money on the track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prize money on the track and like stakes winners, basically. So
so I'd assume where you're paying above that, 300 or 400, that's where the pedigree gets top draw, and then has residual sale value if you have a filly in particular that just becomes a brute mare. You still get somewhat of your investment back.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of horses that are 7 figures plus that don't even make it to the racetrack, mate.
Yep.
So I think the most risk averse thing you can do at those sales is fish in that sort of pond. And it's funny because you see like Guy Mulcaster, it's rare for him to go more than 400, 500 grand because he's Chris Qualler's bloodstock agent. And he actually went up to 850 for a Frankel during the sales. And I was talking to Sneezy Racing about it, who obviously has a share in that horse. And because the sales on day 1 was so soft, so this thing was on sale day 2. Because the sales on day 1 was so soft, Guy and Chris are talking to Craig and basically like, this thing last year would have been like 1.3, 1.4. We reckon it's our pick of the sale. We reckon we'll get it. And we wouldn't have gone for it because even though it was our pick of the sale because we knew it was going to go for 7 figures plus. But if it falls between 800 to 900, we're getting it. So keep an eye on that Frankel filly.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so interesting.
So if Stormboy goes on to win the Triple Crown, the owners, and they sell, they're going to get 875K.
Bang.
In earnings.
Bang.
So...
And easily, it would go up to 7 figures in betting because you just whack. You would just responsibly.
If you have the 15 million guarantee.
Just whack.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Very, very interesting. But outside of that, mate, what's been going on?
Not a hell of a lot. Just you know what we're doing? We're heating up for the autumn.
It's a good meeting this weekend. Couple of good meetings.
Yeah, well, it's Friday, which is good. Then Saturday. Friday's got a couple of stakes races. I'm pretty sure at Caulfield. They got the Blue Diamond Preludes. But yeah, we've been heating up just like the Brisbane heat.
Mate. All the best to friend of the show, Mitchell Swepson.
Yep. This will be going out when the game's probably, nearly said and done.
Yeah. So congratulations to the Heat.
Yeah, congratulations to the Heat
for bringing it home.
I actually came up with a chant for the Heat, and so it's a little bit tricky. So you might not get it straight away, but just hear me. I say Brisbane, you say Heat.
Okay.
Brisbane
Heat.
Brisbane
Heat.
Brisbane
Heat.
Brisbane
Heat.
Brisbane
Heat.
Yeah. Oh,
it's a classic, isn't it?
It is a classic.
Yeah.
It's certainly catered to the children and those of low IQ who go into the crowd sometimes with a Heat game.
I don't like dropping names, but Josh Brown of Waxham fame, mate,
holy smokes him.
Mate, played a lot of junior cricket with him, and I was playing cricket with him about 8 or 9 years ago as well. Bloody 4th grade at Sandgate. Look at him now.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? Like,
that is crazy.
So he's a good fella, Josh, and I like a dead fish.
Well, clearly.
Yeah.
I wonder why it's taken, this many years for him to finally sort of crack it.
Yeah, no idea. Because he always had the talent, but it was just like, as I was saying to you, he'd get like a quick 30 and then sky it.
Yeah.
Or he'd get a duck. And then it's like almost like he's versing the better bowlers and the harder opposition. He's got better. It's just like, it's just one of those things,
It is one of those things.
Yeah.
No, good on him. That innings was absolutely incredible. But yeah, mate, my life recently has just been a lot of bloody Big Bash. A lot of Big Bash. Settling back in. Firing up for the autumn. What about you, mate? Anything of note?
Ran 10K for the first time.
Did you?
Yesterday. Yeah.
How'd you go?
Sore.
Yeah.
Sore. My knee started hurting halfway. Literally as I hit halfway, I was like, oof.
Oofta.
And then I got a blister in the last K that I had to deal with. Yeah. It was weird though. It was like on the top of my toe. I'm like, how did that happen?
What?
I've good socks.
Yeah. What about your joggers though?
Yeah, they're good. I might invest in some Hockers or some Hectic Acid or something.
Yeah, a lot of people swear by Hockers, but they just I got a pair. It didn't work for me. I had to return them. I was like, not a fan.
Return them?
Yeah.
How?
Only wore them once.
Surely that's not
They get I think the athlete's foot gives you like a
right.
whatever. But I've got New Balances. They are absolutely elite.
I've got New Balance as well.
Yeah.
But in general, my body's not really conditioned to running outside, so I'm easing into it with a 10K run. But
half mara for your boys, drifters.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
We haven't booked it yet.
No, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it.
Shall we talk some horse racing?
Yeah.
Let's do that, eh? Let's go to Caulfield on Friday. So good for Rail in the True. Looks like there's some pretty decent weather around. So Caulfield, this time of year, you'd expect this to get to a good 3 for sure. But race 3 is the Blue Diamond preview for the fillies, 1,000 metres. We say this every year, but I don't understand why the fillies are a higher grading than the colts and geldings. I think it's just so that they can lock in that black type in the breeding. It's like almost like the industry is kind of like giving them a bit of a leg up for the breeding element.
Potentially. It is a bit weird, to be honest. Yeah, these are tricky races, right?
Yeah.
But like you, look at the stables.
Yep.
Who are the stables who are great with the 2-year-olds? And of this lot, I'd say the Freedmans would be.
Yep.
So that leaves me with number 5, Matisse, number 6, Mindshift.
At a microphone.
Yep. Interestingly enough. And number 7, She Hung the Moon. Now, look, of those, you got 2 at $4 and you got 1 at $9. Also of those, you got 1 who's drawn gate 1.
Yep.
With D Lane on. And I'm thinking that's the one I'll be back if I have a bet in this race, drifters.
The 2-year-olds need the rail.
They need the rail.
They love the rail.
They need the rail. So a little 2-year-old filly by a microphone who was a good horse.
Yeah. We just didn't see the best of him because he was a bit injury plagued.
He was. So yeah, number 5 Matisse would be my bet. But if you want to find more value, hang with the Freedmans. I'd say drifters.
Yep. Okay. I'm actually steering a little bit out of my lane, so that's typically how I operate with these 2-year-old first starters.
Steering out of your Damien Lane.
Yeah, I'm going into another Damien, into the breeding. Going I Am Invincible. Why not?
Yeah, right.
Number 2, Bella Corazon. Annabelle Neesham can train a good 2-year-old. So this thing's trial was pretty damn good at Rose Hill, but put a half a length and then 3 lengths on the rest of them in Sydney. So making the trip down south. B Shin on. I think at $10.
Yeah, throw all the stumps, mate.
I'll have $5 on. Just a little luck tester.
Yeah, throw all the stumps.
And then race 4 on the program is the preview for the Colts and Geldings 1,000 metres listed race. Now, what are your thoughts on the blue points? Finding them, they're starting short and they're not winning.
Tricky because he's had a terrific start as a sire up in the Northern Hemisphere. But the big fear they had for Justify actually was, would that translate, to Australian racing? Sometimes it just doesn't. But I reckon give him a bit of time. The blue points, but I'm gonna take Blue Stratum on.
Yep. We've seen him twice.
We have. There's a little cult here by Street Boss. Street Boss is Anamo's sire.
Yep.
Lima Hooley, I think that's how you pronounce it. Lima Hooley. It's a funny little name. J Carr on. Draws a wide gate, so
not ideal.
He's $11, but something in blue by Street Boss, 2-year-old.
Oh mate,
2-year-old colt.
How many times do we see these good Godolphin 2-year-olds go? Oh, another one.
We know it'll be professional.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be well trained. That's for sure.
Yep.
I'm going for a Neesham double here. Another I Am Invincible for Annabelle Neesham in a Vision. So this horse's trial even better than the last thing. So Barrier 3, Blake Shin on. I reckon, stable jockey double
Sheesh.
in the previews. So 480 for this horse. Barrier 3 should find this thing will either be leading or just sitting off him, so we'll have the tactical advantage here.
I like that we've steered clear of both the year-long things in both the races.
Oh yeah, I see him now. They'll get something someday.
Yeah, they will. Well, you'd hope so. After all the bloody broodmares they bought, Jesus Christ.
Alcohol-free, $10 million. How's that looking?
Well, that makes the bloody 15 mil for Stormboy look like pocket change. Honestly.
Well, it's your exact point. Northern Hemisphere form doesn't necessarily translate down under.
Nuh-uh.
I read an article just before you came in, or a post, that Australia had Australia had the most top ranking Group 1s across the planet. We had 24 of like the top 100 or something.
Yeah.
More than any other country though. So that's against like Japan and
the
US and stuff.
They also rated Imperatriz as the 69th best racehorse.
I didn't understand that.
In the world. Like below, like on par with Cylinder.
Yeah, that bizarre.
Like she would.
How?
She is,
Just spank him.
She's the best horse in Australia at the moment.
Spanked bottom for Cylinder. If they rocked up together, cop this. Boom.
Yeah.
69th.
Bizarre reading. Bizarre reading. Got a bone to pick with you, long jeans.
Yeah. I'm not a big jeans guy these days. You know what I mean? Big denim guy.
Can't recall seeing you in denim recently. No. Because you're not going to you're not going to paint on the skinnies, are you? No. I can't picture you in a straight-legged pair.
No.
Oh, interesting.
I'm a big shorts guy. I like to show these pins off.
Yeah, I like to cover mine up. My little weak gutted dogs. Speaking of weak gutted dogs,
the WJ Adams Stakes, 1,000 meters listed race handicap. It's race 5 at Caulfield. I thought this was a good little listed race.
It is. It is a little tricky little race. I think
tricky. I'm steering well clear, but you have the likes of Katsu, who was a winning machine at one point in time, who won first up. Vivia, who is a winning machine as well, who is third up here after winning last start as well. But the very good Peter Moody trained Foxicon is a fascinating runner. So 35 weeks off. So basically missed the spring after trying to win a Group 3 in the University of Adelaide, Morphettville, but went down. And then you have the likes of Sweet Ride, Indian Pacific, who hasn't won in 3 years. It's a decent little contest, this one.
Yeah, it is. It is tricky. I think Sweet Ride is dual accepted for Saturday as well. Maybe a couple others are.
The Australia Stakes.
Yeah, okay. I'm sticking with Blue Army, little Varvia.
Yep.
I thought she's been good so far this prep. She's a good 1,000-metre horse as well, Varvia. So D Lane just to park up behind the leaders and just burst through.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
She's got a great record of the track as well. So Caulfield horses, back them when they're running at Caulfield.
Yep. I agree. And her form suggests that she likes the good hard ground, and she'll get that on Friday. That is for damn sure. She's got a solid rating, only 54 kilos on her back. I don't really see Damien Lane get down that light that often. So, yeah, I think she's the pony. Keen to see Foxicon just go around. I want to see it before I go into her later this prep.
Betting?
Watch the betting.
Market?
Yep. Now, the Manfred Stakes over 1,200 metres, Group 3 for the 3-year-old set weight penalties. So, King Colorado being a Group 1 winner, lugs the top weight with 59.5 kilos, but he's only given 2.5 to the bottom weight. So, only 8 runners here, but this is a fantastic little contest.
It is.
But Brave Meads, I think Centrify and Southport Tycoon have all dual accepted for the Australia Stakes as well. So this could potentially have 5 runners here. But, who's not dual accepted, I don't think, is number 2, Step Party.
No, he's not, and he's been precocious, apparently. Precocious. Warming up for this prep. I think he'll take another step.
Party.
So yeah, I'm with him here. King Colorado for me.
Need to see it again.
1,200 meters as well. Like he's obviously going to be going for the guineas, the Australian guineas, I presume. But need to see it from him.
That's a good presumption.
Whereas Tapati, I think he might be more of a sprinter.
That's exactly what I wrote down in my notes because he had the run of the race in the Guineas in the spring and then he just ran out of puff.
He did. So interesting to see what they do with him. I actually saw an article today. King's Gambit heading towards an Oakley plate.
I did see that.
As we presumed.
Of course we did. Get him away from Flemington, mate.
Speaking of precocious. Jesus Christ.
Could you imagine the good night's sleep that the Snowdens will have after that thing wins a Group 1?
Oh, I'll tell you what.
How many times do you reckon Peter and Paul have just been there sleeping, looking up at the ceiling going, what the fuck is this thing doing?
100%. Countless. Probably since they started training him, to be honest. Since his first trip to the races, they're just like, I want to see this thing.
Unruly teenager. He's got so much talent.
So much talent. Speaking of valuable prospects, if he wins a Group 1, he'll be valuable. He's so good looking as well.
Yep.
But yeah, Step Hardy for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Geez, the victim's going to have a busy couple of days.
Might have to get his assistant.
Yeah, might have to get in early.
Yeah. Now the John Dillon Stakes, another listed 1,400 meter race, race 7 at Caulfield. Am I insane for thinking Ayrton's a good bet here?
You're not insane. Am I insane for thinking Buffalo River's a good bet?
I can't. Can't possibly.
You couldn't?
Like, I still have it in my mind that he's a wet tracker. But his last 2 wins have been on bloody good 3s, good 4s at Caulfield.
Well, that's what I mean.
Over the 1,400 metres.
There's no obvious leader here except for him.
Yeah.
And Celine's got a great association with this pony.
Yep.
I think he might just jump and lead and just pull their pants down. Over 1,400 metres, that's his jam, Buff. Yeah. If you're reading his form just at Caulfield over this distance, 14 starts for 4 wins, 2 seconds and a third. Like that's a good enough record to put these away.
Yeah.
I reckon, I need to make some money on this horse. He's $5.50 the good people. So, put it this way, I'd rather take that about Buffalo River than the $3.90 about Ayrton.
Yep.
Put it that way.
Yeah. Like, I think we were savage when Ayrton, before his last win at Caulfield. But he started like $5 and he hadn't won in about 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty gross unders. But since then, his max loss, if you could call it that, is like basically just shy of 4 lengths, and he's, been racing away for age in Group 1s and Group 2s. Like, that's not his jam anymore.
No way is that his jam.
Back to listed grade where he won last time against the likes of Stage Man. Like, I think he's in his right grade here. And 58 kilos, sure, he's giving 4 kilos, but he's got a bloody feather riding him. Jay Carr, jockey horse combination, 7 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds. She might be the key to him.
Might be. Geez, the Price and Kent stable just have a lot of horses that just have issues, don't they?
They do.
You know what I mean?
Spider Bite,
bloody Globe has issues. Rest in peace, Thunder. Before Thunder passed away. Who's that other thing? The colt that was undefeated. Bicepedo. What you need.
Yes. He's got foot issues. Jacquino has issues.
But you know what I mean? They do. They've got a lot of horses with issues.
Yeah.
And they do after the races as well.
Well, I feel like that's when the issues actually come out.
I tell you what, that stable could be on notice. Could be on notice this autumn.
Yeah. I get suckered in. There's the big up and coming one. I always get suckered in.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and the proven ones.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Thunder.
Rest in peace, Thunder.
He was a good horse though.
He was a good horse, but he could run on a bit.
He could run on a bit. Sometimes he'd run straight past him like he did in the Golden Eagle.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was Huey.
That's what he needs.
I reckon
That's what Thunder needs.
Yeah.
Well, needed.
Well, Hugh on Thunder, he gave Fangirl pretty much the same ride, and then found one better, and I wish I win. And look at him. Look at him now.
Two small horses.
Now, if we go to Randwick on Saturday, I want us to go to race 7, the Carrington Stakes 1400 metres listed race. Now, I want to shine attention to number 4, Maximal, for John O'Shea. Now, this horse is having his first start in 64 weeks. I don't know what was wrong with him, but he's $6.50. Surely not. Surely you have to give him a wide berth this weekend. Have to watch him go around with a break that long.
Where were we? Was he an entire?
Maximal. Oh,
Has he been gelded?
Well, let's have a look at the gear changes. Yes, gelded. Interesting.
Fascinating.
Earmuffs pre-race only. First time. Gelded. Winkers off again. That's a lot of gear changes. One significant gear change that you can't take back.
You know what you also can't take back? His record. 17 starts for 1 win. Can't take that back. That's history written.
I think. Did you get suckered in when he came in for his Golden Eagle?
Maximal?
Yeah.
No.
That was Bradley.
Might have been.
Yeah.
No, I backed that. I backed that thing that against Fangirl and I wish I win.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't Maximal though.
No.
It was something.
I thought, yeah, but Maximal came over for like the first or second one.
Oh, did he?
And I remember bragging on like, this thing's going to be anything.
He can't be anything. Do you know what he is? A gelding.
He's not a winner.
He's not a winner either.
No.
Speaking of non-winners, what are your thoughts on the Zoo Tiger in this race?
I think he's a bet.
I think he's a bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't win here, never again.
No.
And I reckon this is the situation where you get in, get your money, and then you get out of the casino.
And I think we've had a decent record of that recently. You know,
$6.50.
Yeah, that's something I could dive into. Well, put it this way, I'd much rather take Zoo Tiger at 54.5 kilos, despite losing to Rubamos last start with Karen McAvoy on this start.
Yeah.
Rubamos, I know, thanks. From gate 12, I think Zoo Tiger from that gate, sit a bit pretty, probably just off the lead. Yeah, I think he's a bet in this race.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Big time.
Geez, Johnny O'Shea can produce some non-winners, can't he? So you got Maximal and you got Zoo Tiger here. What about bloody Benno?
Sheesh.
Lions Raw?
Yes.
Some big nonnies in that John O'Shea stable.
Wow. So does that just mean, is that a pattern thing? Does he just train back markers? Maybe.
I don't know.
Is it that simple?
I don't know if it's that simple. But a lot of his horses are a bit fat as well when they get to the track for the first time.
Well, Lions Raw's the fattest of them all. But yeah, Zoo Tiger.
Vow Declare doesn't win out of turn.
Well, Vow declares Danny O'Brien.
Ah, that's right. Who am I thinking of? Johnny O'Shea's got who's a stayer.
Well, it's
probably Benno.
Has to be Benno.
Yeah, it probably is. But anyway.
And Benno's last win, there was a bloody fall and about half the field wasn't racing. And he still only just won.
Literally.
They were fine.
Last man standing.
Yeah.
What's old mate's name? Who won the bloody Olympic medal?
Oh, Stephen Bradbury.
Stephen
Benno.
Yeah. Bradbury Benno. Benno Bradbury. Stephen Benno Bradbury. Zoo Tiger.
Yeah. Might chuck in number 3, Bold Mac, into a Quinella, just because one of our good mates has a similar name. All right, if we go to Moonee Valley, now this is by far the race of the weekend, the Australia Stakes, if they all take their place. So, you have a 1,200 metre Group 2 open weight for age. Fascinating race. Centrefire, Southport Tycoon, Brave Mead, all the dual acceptors here. Sweet Ride's a dual acceptor as well. Snapper could potentially be a dual acceptor as well. He's $126 though. V8, $2.30 with Neds. Is he your starting point?
I think he has to be V8. Ran pretty well on the Coolmore stud. Ran a 5th there.
Considering the Guineas back to the Coolmore have an abysmal record, I think he was the first one home.
Yeah, I think so. And he, I think he was sort of midfield from memory, and it was all happening up front. So, yeah, I think he did well enough there. He obviously ran second in the Caulfield Guineas, but I think he's probably going to be a 1,400 metre horse, V8.
Yep.
So he's my bet in this race for sure. I like him as a pony, V8. Interesting to see what they do with him this prep though. If he gets a win here, I don't know. Do you keep him at the sprint trip, or do you take him to a Futurity or a CF4?
CF4, that's what the race that popped into my mind. So I'm looking into futures markets.
Could do a Jackino then.
Yeah.
Because Jackino finished, 6th or 7th in the Coolmore?
Yep.
Won the Golden Rose, obviously. Yep. Yeah, some horses are like, I've made this point plenty of times, some horses are just 1,400 metre horses. It's just their jam.
So, in the cell, it's going to be tough. CF4, early market. So, Brightside, Alligator Blood, Fangirl, down she goes there. Magic Time, maybe. V8, $13.
No thanks.
I feel like that's a bit
Not
skinny.
against Brightside and Blood.
Nah, if they're going there,
Yeah.
it's too skinny.
Way too skinny.
My old mate, Straight Ace, are at $21.
Straight Ace, that's not a bad bet. $21 still. Yeah. Recommendation is probably the horse I'd be most scared of, I think.
Yeah.
And there or thereabouts this prep. But
Yeah.
but we've made this point as well on the podcast before. I'm looking for things doing this.
Yeah.
You know, like go on the up.
And that's what I look at, right? So if you look at RaceNet like we do, I look at how many times has this thing raced in this grade recommendation? None. It's never raced at Group 2 level. It's won a Group 3. It's raced twice at listed level, so it's taken a while to come on, but this is the biggest test to date, and you know it's had 13 starts. I'd rather take the V8 who's had half the starts. If I'm even looking for even a horse with even more upside at a better price, number 11, Southport Tycoon, is that horse. Unlucky in the Caulfield Guineas, and I think it had some decent market support. I think it opened up a ridiculous price, but then it started around $20. Now, barrier 4, Craig Williams, I think you'll see this horse be positive, and it's got the right stable to cause a little bit of an upset. You go like, oh, of course.
Yeah,
Eustace.
I'd much rather take him over his stable mates, Centrefire and especially Brave Mead.
Yep.
Like Brave Mead was sort of a friend of the victim last prep, but geez, he's good for a placing. You know, and I just think he's a rung below as well. Brave Mead.
Yeah.
So, no, V8's the bet for me.
Yep. And, yep, Southport Tycoon for me. Why not?
Why not? What do you got
$12.
What do you got to lose?
Hey, and remember the McAvoys first up? There's absolutely no way that this first up in the spring, they're like, there's no way this horse will win this race. And he went out and absolutely spanked him. Started very short his next start, and then he failed. Second up syndrome, V8. Because he was, I think in their words, fat as a bus. So anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. No, yeah, he's the horse for me. I'm excited. Things are starting to warm up.
Yeah,
Things are starting to Brisbane heat up.
Let him cook. That's about it, I think. Any other bets across the program that have caught your little wondering eye?
No, I think that's enough. Yeah. You know, I'm still warming up. Anything for you that looks exciting?
No, not at this stage, mate. But you know, if I feel like I'm in a mood like you were on Saturday, just give the drifters Jungle Hymn. You know?
Yeah, that's not $3.50 was a silly price, as it turns out.
He is him.
Yeah, he is him. Jungle Hymn. No, that was good, and Yeah, it was actually a pretty decent day for your boy on Saturday.
Well done.
Thanks to the victim.
Well done to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good.
We might put up on our Instagram story because I tweeted out all those facts and figures about Stormboy, whether you'd sell or whether you'd hold. And then we might. Now, you're going to be driving back from the coast, so I might dial you in.
Yeah. Yep, sounds like a plan, Stan. Why not?
How's that sound?
Yeah, why not?
Because there'll be some decent races to dissect.
Yeah, I'm happy to. What else will I be doing on the drive?
I know, mate.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Easy.
Coastal, yeah. So I'll be sitting at a surf club, drifters, watching the ponies.
Good for
Where
you.
else would you rather be?
Good.
It's probably going to be raining. It doesn't rain inside the TAB though.
It doesn't. All right. We'll see you Sunday. Hooroo now.
See you, drifters.